Good afternoon, everybody, or good day. Welcome to Talking Packers with Steve. I usually do have these episodes on Tuesday evenings after WWE SmackDown Live. If they're watching that on the USA Network every Tuesday night on USA Network, starting 7 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. 7 to 9 p.m. Central, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on the USA Network, WWE SmackDown Live. But I have my podcast here on this channel afterwards at around 10 p.m. Central or 9 p.m. Central, right after SmackDown Live ends there, because usually SmackDown Live, unlike Monday Night Raw, ends when it's supposed to end, because they're smart about it. Anyways, to 9 o'clock, then I usually do it then. But this week I had other prior engagements that I had to do after watching the show. Heck, I wasn't even able to watch the show of SmackDown Live fully. I had it on, but I had other things that I had to do um, as well while watching. So I had to rewatch before doing my WWE podcast, which I did last night. But here, NFL podcast, my friend, speaking of pro wrestling, we did our predictions episode, talking WWE with Jay. Check that out on his channel. And I'm bringing him up because his team, right here, this one, all right there, yeah, Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, my game of the week for Week 8, the halfway point of the 2016 NFL season. The reason why I have this game as the game of the week for me and not to the Packers and Falcons or Cowboys and Eagles or even the Patriots and Bills. Patriots to get a win back. Buffalo last time they beat them didn't have Tom Brady. Tom Brady's now back. I think they're going to stomp a mud hole in them. Patriots stomping a mud hole in the Bills. But even that matchup I don't have as my matchup of the week. Two reasons why I have this as the matchup of the week. One, Fitzy. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Again, now the starting quarterback of the New York Jets, kind of like Jay Cutler in that situation in Chicago, where he got injured, his backup playing really well, then he got injured last week, and now the organization, as Jay Cutler even stated, has no other choice but to put Jay Cutler in as the starting quarterback now in their matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. Another matchup I could have had as game of the week. This week's Week 8 actually is pretty stacked, top to bottom, even including Thursday night game last night, even though it didn't pan out to where I thought it could go, because I would have my prediction for that game would have been the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Titans 24-17. So I'm being honest there. I went to pick the Titans, so I would have gotten that one wrong. But even in general, and even in a loss, I did like that not Tampa Bay, Jacksonville made it closer and all this other stuff. But I think Week 8 is looking pretty good for the halfway point for the 2016 NFL season. Again, like I said, Ryan Fitzpatrick, now the starting quarterback of the Jets. See how he does. Maybe he's trying to regain his confidence, showing it and putting it to the organization. Like he was talking about how it seemed like his coach, his team, they all turned on him in a way and everything. And that's me paraphrasing what he said, but that general sense. And hope now Fitzy's trying to get back on track, facing the Cleveland Browns team that might not be the best in the world at what they do, but they're still a National Football League team. Jay's team, the Cleveland Browns, who I didn't put in my bold prediction for playoffs this year, because that would surely be the boldest of the bold predictions for this 2016-17 NFL season. But the other reason, obviously, is because this is Jay's team, and I wanted to have a matchup at least 1 week during the whole season where the Cleveland Browns would be my matchup of the week. But my number one reason, above doing this for a friend and for Jay, like later in the week, later in the season, I'm looking down the line all the way to week 17. There might be a couple Indianapolis Colts games beyond the one when they play our Packers. This team right here, Packers, Super Bowl champions. Not this year, obviously. Super Bowl 45, XLV, like that logo. Anyways, point is that the Colts, Stephen A's team, will have his up for a matchup of the week. But I'm also going to do it not just because of Stephen A, but because of the matchup of the game is actually warranted to me personally to be the matchup of that week. And I felt because of these two teams struggling and these two teams battling out to try to start something, starting a winning streak, start up whatever, gain confidence, momentum, whatever you want to call it for either of these franchises, and the situation that they are at this halfway point. That's why to me this one's the game of the week, because for me, just I'll put it to you in this way. With March Madness and how everybody doesn't watch or doesn't care too much, and this could be a minority or whatever, about the first few games of the play-in games or the whatever's for sure. But for me, I like those games. It's like those are the ones that are the most. Those are the most with the unknown. Anything can happen. It could be a close game. It could be even a hard fought, closer, better game than the national championship game with two, you know, chalk teams, meaning maybe two number ones facing in the finals for the national championship of supremacy in the NCAA college basketball and March Madness and stuff. But to me, I enjoyed the other teams and the play-in games and seeing the upsets and all those other matchups. So matchups like this here in the NFL this week, Jets Browns, is like Wichita State VCU matchup or something, which are still, those two are two good teams in college basketball. But I'm just saying, ones that might not be the marquee, like a Duke Kansas or Duke UNC or Duke anything, and those matchups. But it's still, to me, is more interesting because it's the unknown. It's the actual intrigue, the actual where could it go. Any team could win. It'll be a hard-fought game. And here, that's been a low-scoring game, hard-fought game, and I actually see Cleveland getting the win. And excuse me, sorry about that, but I'll explain that more when we get to that game. Now, before we get into predictions for the week, it is, like I said, halfway point in the 2016 NFL season. Actually, technically, when the 3 o'clock games start, then that's officially that line marker, you could call it, of the halfway between this half and this half of the seasons from there. But I'm just going to go through the standings, AFC and NFC, and AFC East. We have the Patriots 6-1, Bills at 4-3, Dolphins 3-4, Jets 2-5, Raiders 5-2, or AFC West. Raiders 5-2, Broncos 5-2, Chiefs 4-2, Chargers 3-4. AFC North, Steelers 4-3, Ravens 3-4, Bengals 3-7, and Browns 0-7. AFC South, the Texans 4-3, the Titans 4-4, the Colts 3-4, and the Jacksonville Jaguars 2-5. In the National Football Conference, in the NFC East, or sometimes people call it NFC Least. Well, this year is actually being the mighty East for once. Dallas Cowboys 5-1, Eagles 4-2, Redskins 4-3, Giants 4-3. See, that's pretty competitive. Everybody above 500. That's how you want a division to look. The NFC West, Seahawks 4-1, Cardinals 3-3, Rams 3-4, and the 49ers 1-6. The NFC South, the Falcons 4-3, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3-3, Saints 2-4, Panthers are 1-5. The mighty NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings 5-1, the Green Bay Packers, our team, my team, America's team, not the Cowboys, Packers, America's team, 4-2. The Detroit Lions 4-3, and the Chicago Bears 1-6. So I think out of all the divisions that I just talking about the record-wise, the best division so far, at least record-wise, like I said, everybody being above 500 and whatnot, is the NFC East, the other mighty division, the NFC North and then the NFC East. From the Cowboys all the way to the fourth place Giants, everybody is above 500, and hopefully that stays the course there and battling out for that division. I mean, as I'm looking here, the NFC South, Buccaneers only being a game out. Falcons could stumble against us, the Packers, even though I might not be. I'll actually be predicting against my team this week because you have to be, as a journalist and everything in a podcast host, you gotta be true to form in when you're doing predictions either. So even for my Packers, I don't see them getting the win this weekend. But if they do, Buccaneers get a win themselves, then there's some interesting stuff going on there. Or if at least the Buccaneers hold on and keep this number 2 and start winning more games, obviously, then they could actually get that playoff spot like I was talking about. Now the Jaguars, the other team on my bold prediction, they need to start winning games like yesterday, as in yesterday's game. to get started on a winning streak for them to make the playoffs. Lucky enough that the AFC South being the least of the AFC in the way, maybe Jacksonville can slowly get some momentum. But the only way to get that is to actually get wins. That's usually how that works. Raiders at the top of their division, so that's good for my bold prediction. The Los Angeles Rams, the other one, being right now third place at 3-4 in the game back for the Cardinals. Seattle, even though they are 4-1, we talk about their struggles and everything. They've only lost one game, so that in itself is pretty cool. So I just wanted to share that. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can find. I want to try to find the league NFL standings, um, or by conference. That's what I meant. The AFC and the NFC, because I just want to see how. I just want to see how it would be, how the playoffs would look right now if the playoffs started here at the halfway point, or before technically the halfway point starts of Week 8 on Sunday, and now being the halfway point of everything. And right now we would have New England number one, being number one overall seed in the AFC. Number two would be Oakland. Number three would be Denver. Wait. No, that wouldn't be right. Well, we see here. We have New England, Oakland, Denver, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Houston. Division winners would be Houston, Pittsburgh, Oakland, and New England, and Denver and Kansas City would be the wildcard teams, and Denver and Kansas City, and that would mean that the AFC West would have three of the four teams in the playoffs. Oakland Raiders being the division winner, Denver and Kansas City getting the bye week. So hey, that's good for Raiders underscore 1995, Raiders Central for the Oakland Raiders. Get with the sports class of Team Boy TV Live, his Denver Broncos, and for all Chiefs fans, Chiefs Nation there. For those three teams in that division in itself trying to be stronger. So that'd be the playoffs right there. New England would be number 1 seed. Oakland would be number 2 seed. Pittsburgh would be number 3 seed. Houston would be number 4 seed. And then we would have Denver as the 5 and Kansas City as the 6th seed in the AFC. As of right now, we'll see how things change as we get here in the back half of the NFL schedule and NFL season. In the NFC, we have Dallas, Minnesota, Seattle, Green Bay, Philadelphia, and Atlanta. Division winners would be Dallas, Minnesota, Seattle, and Atlanta. And the wildcard teams would be the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas Cowboys would be the number 1 seed. Vikings would be number 2 seed. Those two are going to be battling out there for the number 1 overall there in the NFC. Seattle's going to be 3 seed. Atlanta would be 4 seed. Packers would be 5 seed. Eagles would be 6 seed, and that's with tiebreaker because right now they're tied in the record books. Packers and Eagles both at 4-2 at this moment. Just Packers get the tiebreaker and that edge. So that's good for obviously us, the Packer fans, me and John at Packer Fans Tempe on Twitter, and Philadelphia, Archfiend, DDP445, Eagles Nation, Eagle Desert 43, and other Eagle fans here on YouTube. Just wanted to share that to you guys in the masses and Archfiend. That your team as of right now will be making the playoffs, but as the last team in, as the number 6 seed for the NFC. So that's how that looks. And the two teams looking in as of right now would be Detroit Lions and Washington Redskins. Those two teams on the NFC side, and on the AFC side, Buffalo Bills and Tennessee Titans outside looking in as of right now. Midway point. If the playoffs start today, those two would be the odd men out in the AFC. And like I said, the other two teams, Lions and Washington, being the two teams on the outside looking in on the NFC side. If the playoffs started as of right now, this very moment, and this very time, here on on a Friday afternoon. which is always great. I always enjoy Fridays. Maybe that's why I do my shows now sometimes on Fridays, because like I said, I'm busy Tuesday nights, but I wanted to get an episode up as I do each and every week. So I just wanted to share that too. For those that listen live or listen archive, I'm going to give a thumbs up if you enjoyed hearing that. I know I'd like to do something different from other podcasts, showing what the playoffs would look like. I wish I had more graphics and stuff to show it that way, because then I would actually show the matchups and how the standings, not the standings, but how the playoff picture would look like. You know, the AFC on this side, NFC on this side, and have that go from there. But I just wanted to share that at least verbally, even though I couldn't share that in the cool graphic way that others can, because like I said, I'm just me and my laptop and here through Google Hangouts as of right now. And also those that might be interested, I am looking for a co-host for this show. I do have a co-host for my wrestling show, Mark Rambo TV at Looney Tunes 163 on Twitter. But I'm looking for a co-host to talk NFL here. So if you know of anybody, or if you yourself would be interested, shoot me a tweet, again, at talking_Packers, or at Darn_Strong_06. Either way, you can get a hold of me, or even here on YouTube through a message. Either way, let me know, or in the comment section below this video. Leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel as well. Let people know of this show. Like I said, I find myself as a knowledgeable person about football. Now I have my new series on my channel, Steve's Takes, where I talk about an NFL topic that they talk about on ESPN First Take. As of right now, it's part of their contest. But afterwards, I'm actually going to continue it. I don't know if I'm going to continue it being just 1-minute videos, but I'm thinking of still continuing it after the contest, whether I win on the male side or not. And if you want to help me out and try to help me out to get the win on that front, you're welcome to tweet at Stephen A, Max Kellerman, Molly Quinn, at ESPN First Take itself, the show, and let them know about some of my videos. And even though they already get them each and every day through the contest, doesn't hurt to do it that way, so they know that someone out there is getting the support from their friends, listeners, and otherwise. So let's go to the predictions. Like I said, for Week 8, I would have went with the Jaguars over the Titans, but in actuality, the Titans won over Jacksonville 36-22. But like I said, I would have predicted, and that would be my prediction. So far already, I have one wrong here for Week 8 through the show. One wrong. I would have picked the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, I wanted them to start a winning streak, and I thought that would have been a good time. Thursday night, just like they got one of their wins on the game in London, could have been something good for them. I think it would have been even a better chance if they were playing at home than in Tennessee. But hey, you gotta win. You gotta get a win when you can get a win. Road, home, doesn't matter. If you want to show your playoff team, you gotta get wins anywhere and however. That's the truth, at least to me. Excuse me. All right, Sunday games. Washington versus Bengals. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. Washington 27-17. Lions Texans. I'm gonna go Texans over the Lions 34-31. Chiefs versus Stephen A's Indianapolis Colts. At Stephen A 1181 on Twitter. I'll find him at Talking WJ. Here on YouTube, I have his Indianapolis Colts losing to the Kansas City Chiefs at home, 35-17. Joe Cronin, the Joe Cronin Show, at Joe Cronin Show on Twitter. Find him on YouTube, of course, as well. Great shows. There's live shows after Raw SmackDowns, NXTs, whenever he feels like it, especially, and most importantly, after pay-per-views, like he will be after Sunday as well. And also Matt's Madness. Not on YouTube, but mattsmadness.com. We'll be having a live post-show, wrap-up show of his show right after WWE Hell in a Cell. So check out him, Matt's Madness, on Twitter at Matt's Madness, or at Matt's Madness, where he actually has it live there. And you can also, on another screen, watch and interact and be part of Joe Cronin, the Joe Cronin Show, as well. I support both of them. They're great people, and I'm hoping to have them part of my Survivor Series. I at least will be having Matt. I hope to also have Joe on my Survivor Series prediction show on November 17th, WWE. Speaking of WWE, the Patriots do use the WWE's Triple H theme song, because Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are New England Patriots fans living in Connecticut. Kind of how that works. But I guess that's how I can put that all together here on an NFL podcast. Our next matchup, the San Diego Superchargers, or the San Diego Chargers versus Glass at Get With It Sports on Twitter. GETWITTED SPORTS. Get Witted Sports on Twitter, Glass of Team Boy TV Live. His Denver Broncos, I have them defeating the San Diego Chargers. Not a close game. I don't see it being a close game, but you never know. Divisional games can be a close game, but not in my predictions. I have the Broncos over the Chargers, 45-17 there. Cardinals versus Panthers. Team Boy TV's Panthers. Big Q. I'm gonna go with the Arizona Cardinals going to win on the road, 17-13, close game. But Panthers aren't the Panthers of last year. I'm sorry. And hopefully Cam Newton after this game, whether they lose by 20 or lose by 1, be a man, talk to the media, get it over with, and move on. Seattle Seahawks Saints. I'm going to go with the Seahawks over the Saints, 35-34. Very close game. Raiders Buccaneers. Two teams from my two teams from my bold predictions. So this one's kind of hard for me to pick, but I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. They need to win more, I guess, in a way, just like when I was predicting the pay-per-view of who needs to win more in a WWE pay-per-view, scripted show. But I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. Over Oakland, 17-13, his own close scoring game. Even though I did predict Denver to win and Oakland to lose here in this week, I still see in the end of the season Oakland winning the division. So that's just hashtag fact. Eagles Cowboys, Sunday Night Football on NBC. I have the Cowboys over the Eagles, 38-21. And the Monday Night Football on ESPN and ESPN Radio and ESPN.com. Vikings versus the Bears, NFC North battle. I'm going to go with the Vikings to demolish Chicago. I mean, it's only fitting, I guess, in a way for Chicago to be the next team up for the Vikings after the Vikings did what happened to them against Philadelphia last week in their first loss, and their head coach kind of calling them out, or at least the offensive line out. I think Chicago's just going to be a punching bag this week in that game, so I see a 42-17 win for the Vikings on the road, which is too bad because, Monday Night Football, we're talking about ratings. But hey, the Vikings have to show up for a reason. So, and then Packers-Falcons, I have, I'm going to predict the Falcons over the Packers, 35-28. I'm going to be cheering for the Packers, obviously, as a Packer fan and shareholder, but, I got to be honest also as a podcast host, journalist, go with the numbers and what everything else has been showing me in the past. And the game of the week, Jets and Browns. I'm going to go with the Browns over the Jets, 28-23. Yeah, 28-23 Browns over the Jets. Those are my predictions for the Week 8 matchups. And I wanted to share what the matchups for the playoffs would be if they started today here at the halfway point of the season. Thanks to everybody that watched live and will be watching archived. Have a great weekend. I'll be back here next week with continuing of my Steve's Takes each and every day during the work week with ESPN First Take and my two podcasts here on this channel, Steve's Wrestling Ramble and right here, Talking Packers with Steve. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, take care.